Pocket English Podcast
from your pocket.
Welcome back to Pocket English, where we learn real-life English for your everyday moments.
Today, we are going to build a survival toolkit for the most dangerous 2 minutes of your day.
You are standing next to a coworker by the office coffee machine. You already said good morning, and now there's total silence while you both wait. You frantically search your brain for English words, feeling that awkward social panic rising in your chest.
I used to just stare at my phone or pretend to reading old email because I was so terrified of making a grammar mistake if I tried to make small talk.
But by the end of this episode, you will have a simple 3-step checklist to confidently fill that silence, chat about your weekend, and gracefully walk away without stressing over perfect grammar.
Small talk is honestly one of the hardest things to master in a new language. When you are sitting in a quiet room studying, you have plenty of time to think about grammar rules. But when you are standing face-to-face with a colleague and the only sound is the coffee machine dripping, your mind just goes completely blank.
Exactly. And it's important to remember that native speakers feel awkward in that silence too. If you just stand there staring at the wall, it feels uncomfortable for everyone in the room. But if you try to speak and use the wrong words, you worry you might sound strange.
Right. If I ask a coworker a question that is too personal, they might feel uncomfortable. Or if I use the wrong verb tense, they might not understand what I'm asking. It feels like a trap.
That's exactly why we need a safe, reliable system. You do not need to be a brilliant, funny conversationalist at 9 o'clock in the morning. You just need a routine. And that brings us to step 1 of our checklist, which is the safe question.
I love having a safe question. What is the best way to break that terrible silence without overthinking it?
Keep it incredibly simple. The most natural way to start small talk on a Monday or Tuesday is just to ask about the past weekend. You simply turn to them, smile a little, and ask, "How was your weekend?"
How was your weekend? That uses the past simple tense, right? Because the weekend is already finished?
Yes, perfectly said. A common mistake learners make is trying to translate directly from their native language, and they might accidentally use the present simple. They might say, "How is your weekend?" But since the weekend is over, we must say, "How was your weekend?"
What if it's a Thursday or a Friday? The past weekend is too far away to talk about.
That's a great point. If it's later in the week, you can shift to the present perfect tense. You can ask, "Have you had a good week so far?"
Have you had a good week so far? I like that. It covers everything from Monday up until this exact moment. It's polite, it's friendly, and it's totally safe.
It really is. Now let's move to step 2. Let's imagine the opposite situation. You're standing there, and your coworker looks at you and asks, "How was your weekend?" What do you say?
When I first started learning a language, people would ask me that, and I would panic. I would just say, "Good," and then I would stop talking, and the silence would come right back.
We have all done that. To avoid that dead end, we're going to use something called the echo answer. You give a simple answer, you add one tiny detail using the past simple tense, and then you echo the question back to them.
Let's break that down. How do I give a simple answer if I didn't do anything exciting? What if I just stayed home and did laundry?
That's actually the most common type of weekend. You don't need to invent an exciting story. You can use a fantastic native phrase and say, "Nothing special."
Nothing special. Does that sound like I'm bored or unhappy with my life?
Not at all. In conversational English, saying nothing special is a very polite, positive way to say you had a normal, relaxing time. It shows you weren't stressed. After you say nothing special, you give one tiny detail.
So I could say, nothing special. I mostly just watched television.
Exactly. Notice how you used the past simple there. I watched. You can use that pattern for anything. I mostly just relaxed. I mostly just cooked.
What if I slept a lot? Can I say, I mostly just slept?
You can, but there's an even more natural phrase you can use. You can say, "I caught up on some sleep."
Caught up on. What exactly does catch up on mean?
To catch up on something means to do something that you didn't have time to do earlier. During the busy work week, you probably didn't get enough sleep, so on the weekend, you catch up on sleep.
Ah, I see. So if I didn't have time to clean my house during the week, I can say I caught up on some chores.
Spot on. So your full answer could be nothing special. I mostly just relaxed and caught up on some sleep. And if you are finding these everyday phrases helpful for your real life, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you never miss a pocket-sized lesson.
We love having you in our community. Okay, so I gave my simple answer. I said nothing special, and I used the past simple to say I relaxed. What was the last part of step 2, the echo?
Yes, the echo. You must bounce the conversation back to them so you do not have to keep talking. It is the easiest part. You just say, "How about you?" or "What about you?"
That is brilliant. It takes all the pressure off me. So the whole flow is nothing special. I mostly just relaxed. How about you?
Perfect. And while they are answering, your coffee finally finishes brewing, you have your mug in your hand. Now you face the hardest part of small talk. You have to walk away.
This is step 3, right? The graceful exit. I hate this part. I always feel so rude walking away from someone while we are talking.
It is a delicate moment. If you just say bye and turn around quickly, it does feel abrupt. But if you linger there forever, it gets awkward again. You need a soft exit phrase to signal that the conversation is ending.
What is a good soft exit phrase?
The most common and polite phrase in American and British offices is, "Well, I'd better get going."
I'd better get going. The word I'd is short for I had, right? I had better get going.
Yes, saying "I had better" is a gentle way of saying "I need to do something." It softens the exit. You are telling them, "I enjoyed talking to you, but duty is calling me away."
I'd better get going. Can I say where I'm going?
Absolutely. You can use the present continuous tense to describe your movement. You can say, "I'm heading back to my desk," or "I'm heading into a meeting."
So I can combine them. I smile, hold up my coffee cup, and say, well, I'd better get back to my desk. Have a good one.
You nailed it. It is polite, it is professional, and it gets you out of the room gracefully. You have officially survived the coffee machine.
I feel so much more confident having this checklist. Step 1, the safe question. Step 2, the echo answer. Step 3, the graceful exit.
Now it is time for our role play simulator. You can't just listen to these phrases. You have to feel what it's like to say them out loud. We are going to practice right now.
I will play your coworker, David. We are standing in the break room. The coffee machine is humming. I'm going to say good morning, and then I will ask you about your weekend.
When Jack asks the question, I want you to answer out loud, wherever you are. Tell him it was nothing special. Tell him you caught up on sleep, and then ask him about his weekend. Speak into the silence. Ready? Go ahead, Jack.
Morning. How was your weekend?
Now it is your turn. Say, "Nothing special, I mostly just caught up on sleep." How about you?
Oh, mine was pretty busy actually. I went hiking with my dog and then I had to fix my car. Oh, look, my coffee is finally ready.
Now use your graceful exit. Tell him you had better get back to work. Say it out loud now.
All right, catch you later.
Excellent job. Let us do it one more time, but let's change your answer. This time, I want you to initiate the conversation. Jack is just standing there in silence. Ask him how his weekend was. Go ahead.
Oh, my weekend was great. Thanks for asking. I mostly just stayed home and read a book. What about you? Did you do anything fun?
Now answer him. Tell him you visited some friends.
That sounds really nice. Man, this coffee machine is slow today. Ah, finally done.
Now use your graceful exit again. Tell him you are heading into a meeting.
Good luck with the meeting. See you later.
You did it! You just navigated a full, natural conversation without any hesitation. You asked a safe question, you used the past simple for your echo answer, and you used a polite exit phrase to leave.
It feels so much easier when you break it down into steps. You don't have to be fluent to be friendly. You just need to know the patterns.
Challenge time. What did you do last weekend? Practice your English and use the "I mostly just" pattern in the comments below, like "I mostly just read a book" or "I mostly just cooked for my family."
I cannot wait to read what you all caught up on. Thank you so much for practicing with us today.
Keep up the great work, and we'll see you in the next episode.